Like, I don't understand. What, you just woke up one morning and decided just to waste your talent?
How do you know if I have talent? Just because I did some stupid leg trick?
But I saw the look on your face when you did it. Same thing as I saw tonight. You're goofy happy. So if you're gonna tell me something about not dancing, at least tell me something real.
What if I don't want it to be real? What I want is to wake up and see my mom again. To things to go back to where they were before my life made sense. But it's not gonna happen, and it's all my fault. All of it.
What? What's your fault?
My mom, the accident, the fact that she's dead. She got scraped off some highway because of me, because of my stupid audition. She was rushing and because I made her promise that she would be there, and when they called my name and I needed her there and she wasn't. She was dying while I was dancing. And I was just so mad at her, and I'm just really, really sorry. Like, I'm just sorry.
Listen, it's not your fault that your mom died, or that she was rushing. She cared about you. She just wanted to be there for you.
But that's what makes it so bad. She always wanted what's right for me. I had to be the prima ballerina. I just had to be. And I didn't care if it took all of our money or all of her spare time. It was my audition and my stupid dream, and it killed her. And all she wanted it was just to come true.
I bet she still wants that dream to come true. She wouldn't want you to give it up.
I know. I just don't know if I could do it without her.
Sarah, what do you want? Do you want this, Sarah? I mean, you. Do you want Julia?
Yes.
And it's all on you. You are the one that's going to have to make it happen. And you are the one that's going to have to make your dream come true.
Hey everyone, how are you? My name is Tia Joy. For those who are new to my channel, welcome. All my subscribers. How you doing? It's so good to see you. This is Save the Last Dance Week, and today's dance movie review is Save the Last Dance. Now, before I get into this dance movie review, I need all of you who are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell so you can be in the know when I upload a new video. So Save the Last Dance was directed by Thomas Carter and David Petrarca? Petrarca? I hope I'm saying it right. And this movie came out in 2001. I actually really like this movie. This movie is a movie that I watched so many times. Like, my dad, he was obsessed with this movie. Like, we would watch it, go to the menu, look at the extras and the making of it, and then we'll go right back to the movie again and watch it again. Like, I can't tell you how many times we watched it, but it was a really, really good movie. Now, this movie contains a girl named Sara, who is played by Julia Stiles, and she moved to live with her father because of the situation with her mom. She lost her mom, so she lived with her dad. His name is Roy, who was played by Terry Kinney, and he's actually a saxophone player, so that was really cool to know a little bit of something about her dad. And if you've seen the deleted scenes, there's a scene where she goes and watch him play. And she moves with him to Chicago, and she goes to this high school where she meets a friend named Chanel, who's played by Kerry Washington. Let's go. And she also has a brother named Derek, who is played by Sean Patrick Thomas, who is the guy that Sara, kicks it with, because she was a ballet dancer. That's what Sara is, but she hung up ballet because of what happened with her mom, but she has this big dream of going to Juilliard. So by her learning a different style of dance besides ballet, Derek is the one that helps her so she can get into the whole groove of upping up her dance skills just a little bit, because the girl, first. She didn't know what she was doing. Okay. And so we also have Malachi, who's played by Fredro Starr. He is the friend of Derek, but he also is a guy that got out of juvie. And so them two used to, you know, they're homeboys. They used to do some things that they shouldn't have been doing back in the day. But Derek, he had his own path where he wanted to leave that type of decisions and go to something a little bit different, which is to medical school at Georgetown. So we also have Snooki, who's played by Vince Green, who's the friend of Chanel and of Derek, and he spins at a club called Steps Club. And so he gives them the hookup so they're able to dance. And I keep forgetting that this is high school because they had to have a fake ID just to get into the club. So to see that, I'm like, oh yeah, they are high schoolers. Because when you see them, you're like, oh. Because sometimes you watch it and you forget they're high schoolers. And we also have Dickie, who's played by Elizabeth Ose. And we also have Nikki, and she is the girl who used to dance with Derek, but they also had a relationship as well, and she is played by Bianca Lawson. And then we have Kenny, who is the father of Chanel's child, Christopher, and he is played by Garland Witt. Now, I'm about to get into some of my favorite scenes from the movie. So here we go. So my favorite first scene is when Derek and Sara are in the classroom and Derek is teaching Sara how to dance. Because if you've seen in the movie, Sara, she went to the club. First of all, she's like, whoa, this is so cool. But number two, she was talking smack before she got to the club that, oh, I could do circles around you. And Derek's like, ha ha ha, if you say so. And she goes to the club, and this girl, he took her to the floor. This girl didn't know what the heck she was doing. And to see her, and she had the audacity to add the clap with her dancing, I'm like, Sara, honey, stop. So Derek was teaching her in the middle of the floor, but he taught her, he said he would be able to help her to, you know, get some moves, help the chica out with this hip hop thing. So to see them in a classroom and she's learning hip hop, she's just so ballet. She's so stiff. It's like he's telling her to loosen up. He had to pretty much teach her how to be a little bit like a tomboy, like put some I love that part where she had to put some into it, and just to see her like rocking side to side, but and just getting the groove and get into the rhythm of the music, of hip hop music. It was really cool to see that whole scene, him teaching her how to pimp walk and teaching her how to, you know, she wiping her nose, just leaning back, like chill, like that's the thing I love about this scene. It's like he just teaching her the whole, have some swag with it, but then again have some groove at the same time. So to see the scene, I actually love this scene. My second favorite scene is when Sara, she hits those moves that she's been learning from Derek to the club. So when she got out on the floor, it's like, let's go. Sara killed it. She first in the beginning, she was like, okay, what is this girl doing? And then when she come back to the club, now she got it. She owned the choreography. She owned the moves. She had rhythm. She was really into it. She pretty much killed it. And I love the fact that the crowd encouraged her. It's like, yeah, go Sara, and she did her thing. But then of course you got the hater, who was Nikki, how she had it like just mess up the whole scene. She didn't really mess up the scene, but it's like, girl, like you already see them two, they have some chemistry. She just had to be in the midst of them and go and do what she do. And she's an amazing dancer. I can see why her and Derek had that chemistry with dancing, because when she smoothly, just to see the smoothly, how she came in to smoothly remove Sara to go to Snooki while she goes with Derek. She did that. I ain't gonna lie. She smoothly did that transition. But to see her and Derek dance together, you can see the chemistry and why they make some good partners. But also with her attitude and who she was, you can also tell why he went deuces. Just saying. So I just love to see that whole club scene when she comes back. It's like a comeback. She pretty much had to redeem herself because she didn't know what the heck she was doing in the beginning. But to see her in this scene and in Sara dancing was great. And also it was cool to see Nikki and her doing her thing too, so we could see what she all about. And girl's bad, okay? And her hair, I remember I always wanted her hair. That hair, like she had some hang time. I'm like, girl, give me that. Okay? Now, my last favorite scene that I love in this movie is the audition. So as you've seen this, if you haven't seen this movie, please go see it. But in this movie, she has this dream of going to Juilliard. And so Derek helps her to get to Juilliard. So now she's at the audition once again, because she was there in the beginning. And this time she has some encouragement behind her to push towards her dream. And when she does her audition, you know, she does her ballet. She did an amazing job. But then when she did her contemporary piece, she got out there and she messed up. But then to see Derek like put that fire back in her, because at first she's like, oh, I can't do this, I'm all over. But to see her like she can't do this, she feel like she's all alone. Whatever's going on, I pray that you will help and be the way for that. Just let your angels protect that situation, what's going on. Just in Jesus' name. So for him to put that motivation back in her, man, when she stepped out on that floor, that facial that she made, you see her face? That one right there? She's like, I wish y'all would say no right now. Like, y'all about to learn who I am today, and I am not leaving without giving my best. And she did it. She killed that choreography. Man, she killed her solo. And to see her, she was dancing with the chair, doing the body rolls and the flips, and the one thing that got me mostly was the heel toe. I'm like, okay, Sarah, I see you sitting there doing your heel toe. Like, let's go. I remember watching that. I'm like, I turned it off. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, how do you do that heel toe? She did it. She did the locking. Like, she really owned that choreography, and her fouette turns, like, she was not playing, and she did that. So I just love that. And the song was perfect. It just went perfect with what she was going for, which is live your dream. It's not as hard as you may seem. It's all nothing. Give your everything. Like, you did that thing, girl. So the lesson that I learned in this movie is the fact that Sarah, she went from living in a suburban area to now living in an area where it's predominantly Black African Americans. And one thing that I can definitely say about her that I've learned is, because she was Caucasian, or if we want to say white, she was very observant. She observed her atmosphere. She observed what she was into. She didn't come in with the mindset of, oh, this is how Black people are. No, she was willing to learn the culture, the atmosphere, especially with hip hop and how everything was, and she understood the language. The only thing that she was a little bit confused about, which is something that she wasn't taught, was you're white and your privileges, and we're Black and our privileges. She wasn't really taught that. Because if you see in the scene when she's at the clinic with Chanel, she's like, Chanel, there's only one world. I don't understand. We're just together. What's the problem? And she was like, Black people, white people. Like, that's the issue. And we are taught different. Like, we are taught a different way than you are. But Sarah was taught unity, and that's the thing. She was taught unity, while Chanel was taught a different way, where your color is a problem. And so we had to stop and think, is what we taught right? Or is we taught wrong? And are we willing to learn from each other? Are we willing to get an understanding? I understand I'm African American, but that doesn't mean that I can't get to know the Asian culture or the Latin culture. And one thing I've learned is, growing up, I didn't grow up in a Black community. I grew up in a community where it was different races and different nationalities. And so I got a chance to get to learn those type of nationalities, like Latinos. I say Latinos. I don't go up to somebody who I think is Mexican and call them Mexican, because I could offend them. So I say Latinos. I don't go and call somebody Japanese, because in my opinion, they may look Japanese, but they could be Chinese. So I say Asian. And I just think we need to get to a place that we understand each other. Yes, we have different skin color, but that doesn't mean because our skin is different doesn't mean that we can't get to understand each other and know each other. And also, if we're going to approach each other, first of all, what we need to do is take that mindset of what we think that culture is. Like, for instance, when we see Asians, there's a stereotype of all Asians are smart. So we approach them like they're super smart and we're just unintelligent. Same thing with those who are of Muslim or Afghanistan culture. We think they're terrorists, so we approach them or have our guard up because it's like we're afraid that we don't know what they're going to do. So that's our thinking towards them. Same thing with African Americans. Because I'm African American and I'm black, people think all black people are ghetto, or they grew up in the ghetto, or that we're poverty mindset. I don't know, whatever thought of whatever the other race may think that we are, it's like our mind is already made up of what we think that culture is. But if we don't get to a point to understand that culture and to ask correct questions, then that's where the division happens. So we have to get to an understanding of knowing each other's culture and respecting it, but also get information too, and not come in this situation with our minds made up of what we think that culture is. And that's the thing that I love about Sara. She came with a clean slate. She was willing to learn. The only thing that she clashed with is, so what if I'm white? I understand you're black, but does that mean we can't have a relationship? Does that mean I can't have a relationship with Derek because he's black? And Nikki, she had a big problem because she see a white person, so she's thinking automatically have the identity of white people, which is you guys are overtake and always want to take over everything. You want to take our money, you want to take land, and now there's good men out there too, and you want to take that too. So she already had, so the only person I can say really that had the mindset of I can't stand you, I don't like you, was Nikki. She automatically saw her, she automatically see white, and she see the image of what she believes white people are instead of getting to know Sara. Because if she would have known Sara, she would have known that Sara is cool. She is really down to earth, and on top of that, she's intelligent. But because Nikki saw her as white, she didn't want to get to know her. And sometimes I feel like that's what we are for each other. We don't want to get to know each other because our mind is already made up of what we think. And we have to get to a point of changing that. And that's, I feel like, is our number one problem. But also on the other end, we have to be, us as individuals also have to be open to receive those type of questions and also to explain and not get so far being offended. Like when I be going to work, I be getting questions because there's moments I change my hair a lot. So there's moments where I'm wearing a sew-in, there's moments I'm wearing a wig or 2-strand twist. It changes all the time. And I remember walking to work, well, not walking to work, well, I was at work, and one of my boss who's Caucasian is like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, is that your hair? And sometimes, so hearing those type of things, the instant thing I want to do is be offended. Like, first of all, just because, why does it matter if it's my hair or not? If you like the hair, just say I like your hair. Why does it matter if it's real or not? Why do you have to say, is it weave? Is it extension? Why does it matter? If you like it, that's cool. Like, you don't want me to say, hey, is that your real nails? Is that your real eyes? Or did you get your eyes done? Is that your real nose? Or did you get surgery on it? Like, if you like something, just say you like it. But I had to get to a point of, I can't, maybe that person doesn't know. Or maybe they didn't grow up in a family of understanding a different culture. And, you know, there's a lot of things that go with it that I had to think instead of being on the defense side, which is, yo, why are you, like, you don't ever, like, go straight up, like, why did you even ask that? Like I can literally get defensive about that because it's like, maybe they just don't know. Maybe they haven't been around that. I sometimes get those who are not of my, color, and they see my hair and they want to, oh, can I touch your hair? It's like, I am not a petting zoo. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm not a petting zoo. Like, why do you want to touch my hair? It's hair. Like, why does it matter? Like, stuff like that. So it's like, we have to get to a point of giving out information of how to better educate on how to properly communicate but not get defensive at the same time, because that can cause people not to have an understanding. And it's just very important that we be open to stuff like that, because those are things that I get, and I'm pretty sure there's some of y'all out there that get the same thing, like, don't touch my hair, why are you touching my hair, or why does it matter, I bought it, it doesn't matter. Like, I know that attitudes we get, but we also have to be open to educate and say, you know what, maybe you don't know this, but this is what you should know. This is how you should better approach, because what you said can be offensive to me. So those are things that we just have to take the time to help people understand and learn, so that way we can have that unity rather than division. When we take the racism and the skin color out of the picture of this movie, this dance movie, Sara still had a dream of going to Juilliard. Derek wanted to go to Georgetown. And Chanel, all she wanted was her father's son, Terry, to be in a relationship with their son, Christopher. She wanted him to step up and be a father, because the love that she saw for Derek and Sara, she was almost like jealous. Like, I want that too, but I wish I could have that for my man. So it's almost like she wanted Sara to feel guilty because she's having something that she really wanted. But that's the thing, when we take racism away, we still got life to live. We still have goals we need to reach. And the one thing I absolutely love about Derek is when he found out that he got into Georgetown, he didn't celebrate himself and just be like, oh, let's go party to celebrate me. Nah, in celebration, he took Sara to something that she liked, that he knew that she can do, which was ballet. And later found out she wanted to go to Juilliard, and she loves ballet, and she wanted to go to Juilliard. And he already got his dream school, but he was selfless enough to help her to get into her dream school, which was Juilliard. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about the relationship, is because just how they just really cared for each other, but they didn't really, but race had nothing to do with it. So that's one thing that I definitely learned. And I also learned that, you know, as we're living life, like, things happen. Because with Sara, the tragedy happened. She felt like she couldn't move forward with her life because of what happened with her mom. She felt like she had to give up her dream and not move forward, and she was very guilty. And one thing I love, especially with God and what he does, is he will put people in your life to remove things that are not needed. And Derek was that person that was in her life that removed that burden so she can move forward towards her dreams. And sometimes we're burdened with a lot of things on us that we can't move forward. And the fact that he was there for her to do that, it was a joy to see, because it's like, thank you. Because he didn't want to see her talent go to waste, but he saw the burden, that she was burdened with something, and he got to it. And now once it's lifted, now she can breathe. And the other thing, and the same thing with his friend Malachi, he knew that there was more inside of him than what he was living. But I bet after him being behind that cop car, he was like, okay, I probably should have listened to Derek, because Derek believed in his friends. He believed in the people around him, and he wanted nothing but the best for them. And that's a true cool person to be around and to have in your life. And I love how God always assigns somebody like that in our lives. We just have to pay attention to that. And we also have to believe it within ourselves too, that we are just as much as what they're saying that we are, especially at another level that we don't even think we're qualified to get, but it's possible. And so the other last thing that I learned and I really, really liked is how Sara and her mom prepared her for Juilliard, because she paid for all the classes. That's the parent that she grew up with, and she ended up losing her mom. But her dad was able to take her to her dream. So you have the mom who prepared her for her dream, put all the work to make sure she gets trained for her dream. Then you have her father Roy, who was the person that picked up the baton and took her to her dream and loved her and said, I believe in you. And then we have Derek, who encouraged her to finish her dream in the midst of it, to finish it, because she was about to give up. He's like, you are here, now that you're here, you give it your all, and you're not leaving without giving your all. So he was that extra push. So I love how that was all lined up in her life, so she can also know that you're not by yourself. Yes, you may have lost your number one supporter, but you had two people to replace the one that was just as strong to get you across that finish line. And that's one thing that I absolutely loved and recognized that I loved about that part. But that's all that I have for this dance movie review. Thank you to all the dancers. You all did such an amazing job. Shout out to the choreographer Fatima Robinson. She choreographed one of my favorite dance music videos, or my favorite music videos, and that was Michael Jackson, Remember the Time. So she did that. So great job to you as a choreographer. Rich, who also helped as well. Also great job to Randy Duncan, who helped choreograph for the ballet dance as well. Also job to the Joffrey Ballet, who was also involved in this dance movie as well. You all did a fantastic job, and I definitely will put you all in so I have my Dancers Hall of Fame, so you all gonna be listed in my Dancers Hall of Fame. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I upload a new dance movie review every Tuesday and every Thursday. If you like this dance movie review, hit the like button and also the subscribe and the bell, because I don't want you to miss out on any dance movie reviews that I do, and I definitely want you to become part of the fam. And definitely drop the comments below and tell me, what did you like about this movie? Do you agree about the things that I said about Sara and the way she was raised, and Chanel the way she was raised? Do you agree with that? Did you even notice that in this movie? Let's have a conversation. How do you feel about this unity and about this movie? And tell me some things that you noticed about this movie that you learned that you actually liked. Put all of that in the comments below. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all the next time. Bye.